Recently, I was reading in the book of Revelation and got to the part where Jesus is writing a letter to the 7 churches. And as I read those letters, I couldn't help but notice how some of the time it was very encouraging and he was showing a lot of approval for what was going on in the churches. But then there were other times when it was downright scathing. And then I got to the most famous letter, which is to the church of Laodicea, where Jesus talks about how they were neither hot nor cold, but because they were lukewarm, he would spew them from his mouth. And I felt very convicted. In fact, I was downright terrified because I was thinking, well, I definitely don't want to be spewed from his mouth. And so it made me think, what if Jesus wrote me a letter? What would it say? And the more I thought about it, I decided to go ahead and write out that letter. And it was a very difficult process. There were some parts of it that were very encouraging, some parts where I felt like he really approved of what I was doing in my life, but then there were other parts that were discouraging and disappointing. And fortunately, I went back, and as I read Revelation 3:19, I noticed this: "Those whom I love, I rebuke and discipline, so be earnest and repent." Notice what he says at the beginning, those whom I love. It's very easy to read these passages and think that Jesus is being judgmental. But what he's actually doing is he's loving us. It made me think about who I am as a parent to my children. I don't just allow them to do whatever they want. I talk to them about how's the best way to live their life so that they can enjoy it to the fullest. And sometimes that means disciplining them. So as I thought about that, I thought about how do I change? How do I become the man that I want Jesus to write a letter that's positive to? And the one word that kept standing out was surrender. And that led me to the next verse, Revelation 3:20. "Here I am, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone opens the door, I will come in." And there's that encouragement that we're not alone in this, that Jesus walks alongside, that he carries our burden, and that he will ultimately transform us into the person that we are created to be. So if you have some time, think about what would Jesus say in his letter to you? Or even better, write out that letter and give it some thought and pray about how you can become the person that Jesus created you to be.